Okay, we can start our topic.
Years old. 1 month I graduate my master in civil engineering, and I will start next week my career as a traffic planner, and I specialize environmental friendly traffic. So I am specializing for cycling ways, for planning the cycling ways in Berlin, and I will work for the Berlin City Parliament. And in my free time, I make different volunteers. For example, I go regularly to the food sharing and helping the food sharing, or I am in the animal party from Germany. I am volunteer in this party in different works, and I am since 2 months in Berlin-Lichtenberg. That's a area in Berlin in area parliament for the technical questions or technical topics. And I am there since 2 months, and we have every month one meeting. The next will be at 22 August this month, and I can vote and make decision in this parliament for my party. And I'm also for the youth organization in my party active. And in my free time, I play saxophone in some jazz bands, and I like traveling. And I did 5 abroad semester. For sure, we will talk later about this, but in short version, that is my person in some sentence.
Oh my God, you shared with us almost all your life. Sounds like it. You're so interesting, such an interesting person. Yeah, you have a lot of hobbies, a lot of different spheres of your life that you work on. How can you combine everything in your life?
Oh, there are a lot of people ask me that, but I am interested in a lot of topics, and I do all the time just the things what I'm interested. And so it's for me important to do the things what I'm interested, and I work all my life for this. And so that's my priority. And sometimes I have luck to find the right people to make some projects, and so maybe you need also good management skills and high motivation. But it's not like that I have every day 16 hours and I'm just sleeping and do the stuff. I have also time to relax, but also yeah, I do the things not all the time, but maybe in short words, this is how it looks.
Okay, so
Okay,
if you're
okay.
talking about so many topics that you think that do you do, so what about your main that we will discuss in our interview about your eco-activism? Maybe you can make how what we know that you're a member of the eco movement. So how was your story in this sphere started? For maybe some interesting stories that you started, why you interested in this topic. So tell us, please. It's interesting.
Yes. First of all, my volunteer didn't start with environmental friendly politics. It starts with emancipation fights. And I start my career as a chef. I also graduate as a chef. And in this time, working conditions are very worse. And also, I lived in places with social problems, and I saw what it means to have a poor life and bad conditions for living. And first of all, I start in worker union or in emancipation organization, my volunteer career. But also after I graduate my school, I was thinking what I can do with my life, and I start to study something environmental friendly engineer. And so in slowly way, I start to interested more about environmental friendly politics. And it have also, in my opinion, the highest priority with peace politics also. And so slowly I changed from emancipation more in environmental friendly topics, but it's in my opinion also connect everything. Environmental friendly politics also connected with emancipation, and so we need to do everything at the same moment, in my opinion. But 2 years ago, I came to Berlin, and I was thinking to be member about a party what shows my opinion, and also you can make in Germany some internet question, fill out some question. They say which party have the same opinion like you. These tests are not 100%, but the Animal Party was the highest with 94% same things. And I was reading after that the program, and I like the program. It connects animal emancipation, human emancipation, environmental friendly politics together, and that's, in my opinion, the right way to connect the things. And this program was very similar to my opinion. For sure, no organization have 100% the same opinion like me, but if it's this same direction, I think it's good, and I will do this compromise. But funny was, I be member about this party, and 1 week later, I saw some marketing because we had voting time for the city parliament, and my party gets 3% from the what experts say. Oh, it could be 3%, and because this party is very, very small, and 3% for a very small party is a lot. And for the city parliament, you don't need 5%. So if you have 3%, for example, it's enough. And so I come on the right time to the right place, to the right party. And so I can, and I was also fighting with this voting, marketing on the street, and make flyers and letterboxes. And so that is the way how I come to this volunteer in the in short sentence. Maybe I talk a lot at the moment, but
yeah, no, it's quite good. We asked you a question, so we expect to listen to a long story that is connected with it. That's okay. It's okay. By the way, I have one more question according to your story. So, how actually did you manage to become a member of the party? Is it enough just to come to their party members or to their party head and tell, "Hello, guys, I would like to be a member of your party"? How to do that?
That's interesting question, because in other parties you can fill out a letter and the most people will accept it. But in my party, you have to answer a question before, and then they will decide if you have the same opinion. But in my case, they didn't do it because I had a call, and they know fast that I have a lot of experience and the same opinion, so I didn't have to fill out this question. So I sent just my letter, and some months later they accept me. And that is in my individual story, but normally you have to fill out questions, and then they will see if you have in main points the similarities, yes or not. So it's not important to be 100%, but that they see that their opinion is the right way. But in my case, and on the call, they accept me fast. That is my story.
So in the majority of the cases, it's just a question of mindset. Yeah, it's important that you will think in the same way, right?
Yes.
It's not about theoretical questions or
No,
anything like that.
No.
Okay.
Also,
okay.
We have to say, at the moment, more and more people are not interested in politics, so you cannot do a very high barrier for people. And so every new member, the most of the new member have no big experience, I think, about volunteering politics. So it's just the opinion and not theoretical question will be too high barrier. It will be not realistic. And I think a political party have to be a bit commercial because without commercial, you cannot win the votes. And so, yeah, it's just about the opinion.
Okay, you mentioned that not a lot of people now are interested in the process of becoming a part of the party, and they are not interested in politics at all. So, how do you think what it is connected with?
People every year have less interest, and for sure, young people are not interested in politics. The typical overage from the members in political parties is 50 years or 60 years. In my party, we have 47 years. So we are a bit younger than the other parties. And I think young people, they see we have a lot of problems in the world and
Okay, Alexei, what do you think? What
nobody
are the
managed this problem. Sorry, my connecting problems. I think I was 10 seconds, maybe not here. But maybe you can say something. Okay.
Yeah, we stop on the point that not a lot of people are interested in politics right now because a lot of young people they see a lot of problems, but why didn't they just decide to help their society to deal with that problems?
You mean so the problems are real, but why they are not motivated to make self-management, or to find same the solution? It's an interesting point because in my party, a lot of young people voting us, so people under 25 years, vote my party with 10%. So 10% is a lot for all Germany. So young people are interested exactly for my party. And so in my party, we don't have these problems. The young people come to us. But in other political parties, they have problems. And you can also say, before I forgot, some years ago, we have some people who are political right and they are new, and the political interest comes a bit higher because a new party comes to the parliament, to the big parliament, to the Bundestag. But before, their interest was very low. But after this right party, the interest becomes a bit gets a bit bigger because a new party have more offer. But in total, you can say people are not so interested. And yeah, and young people who are in general not interested, they are in my political party interested. And that's also the reason why our age is so young in compared to other parties. So maybe we are the solution, or my party is the solution, I think, to motivate young people. And because we have the topics what is for young people important, like environmental friendly, because all people, if they die, they have no problem with their environment, because if they are too old and not more in this planet, they don't care or they care less. But young people, they care more because they have the future will be, the consequences will be in their life in future. So that is my opinion in this fight.
Yeah, okay, I agree that young people is the future of our society. So maybe we can tell about volunteering, about especially you experience and experience about maybe in your party. So what can you please tell about volunteering experience in the sphere of especially environmental protection? What do you do for environmental protection? What do you maybe give it us for young people what to do about environmental protection or something like this?
Yes, 2 months ago, I had my first parliament session in Lichtenberg in the area for the technical question with the name KUND. It means climatic, environmental, nature, and animals. And we have the Friday for Future community. I don't know if you have it also in Ukraine. And it's an organization with young people who say, okay, we go, for example, on Friday not to the school because we make protests because we have not enough consequences for the environmental friendly. And this organization is like to talk in my parliament or in this area parliament, in the city parliament, and we make a voting if we will accept them, if they can talk in our parliament. And I vote for sure that I accept them. So I was on the side for Friday for Future, and for the voting it was 51%, 49%. So my vote was the necessary vote to invite Friday for Future in our parliament. So in this case, that is some experience or some real practice. I did something. And it's also very interesting because it was my first parliament session and I won this voting because my vote was the essential vote. And it's interesting because people say you can change nothing in the parliament, and it was my first parliament session and my vote was the necessary vote. And that is one example what I did. But for sure, I also go to some information tables on the street and talk with the people, and the talks are very different. But yeah, so the most things are to share information about this topic.
Okay, and could you please tell us what do you think? Why were your colleagues against Friday for Futures?
Why the other parties are against them, for sure. Some people say it's not good that people miss the class and make protests. They want that they go to the school. But if you miss the class, it's a less problem than the environmental problem. So I cannot understand maybe the politics or the political parties who are against them, they are at the moment on the power. Then they like to say what we do now is the good way. And so maybe Friday for Future have a concurrence opinion and they cannot accept better or faster ways to protect the environment. And so our goals for protecting the environment is we are too slowly in Germany, also in the world. And yeah, so it's a concurrence opinion to the political parties who have the power. And so the parties who have the power, they have other opinion. And so, yeah, because they have another way. And I'm not under power, but on this voting, I was under power because the social and green parties with my party have more people than the other. So you can say Berlin is very alternative. So you can maybe have other power situation in Berlin city parliament than maybe in other cities. So we have special situation, but for the big parties or in the big Bundestag, the green social parties have not enough power to change them.
Okay, so I know the Friday for Future is interesting action, but also if talking about learning and education especially, you also told, not me, but especially us, that you have Erasmus experience. So how was that? Maybe tell about this, please. How did you decide to apply for that program? What was the difficulty? Was there difficulties maybe? And I think what did you learn about this experience and other things?
Okay, yeah, that's also interesting. I start in Stuttgart my bachelor infrastructure management. It is so the engineer with connect with environmental friendly, with traffic, with management. And I was volunteer because I get an email from my university that they need some volunteer because people from abroad will come and we need people, students who help them with their own problems, like to register on the city, to make all the documents with the healthy insurance. And they send a lot of emails because they have not enough volunteers to do this. And on the third email, I was thinking, okay, I will do it. And I got all the time Bulgarian students and from Bulgaria, and I was a bit wondered why they speak perfect German. And they told me it's something like the second language there. There are also schools you speak in every class or in every subject uh, German language. I was totally surprised. First, I was thinking that rich people or from rich families who go to special schools to learn German, but they say, no, no, it's normal. And I was very surprised. And they told me also the study there is in German language. And they told me how also it could be very attractive for German to go there because prices are very cheap. For example, for my dormitory, I paid 50 euros a month. It's very, very cheap. And I had a lot of Bulgarian friends because I did this job a lot of semesters, and every semester I got Bulgarian students all the time. And they say to me, if I will come to Bulgaria, for example, they will be also helping me. So I was thinking, oh, if I go to Bulgaria, I have also friends there, and a lot of subjects will be in German language. In this time, my English was very bad, very worse. And in my school, my English was the worst mark from all. So I was a bit afraid, but they told me a lot of subjects are in German language. And so I was thinking, okay, if it's in German language, I have friends there, I will go. And it was the right decision. I improved my English very fast. And it's also interesting that if you go to the library from the university, you find a lot of German books. They copy the engineer standards from Germany. So it was very attractive. And also, Bulgaria and Germany are very deep connected. You have the second highest migration from Bulgaria to Germany. So it's very deep connection. And I asked the professor, why is the connection so deep? Nobody can answer me. Also, my friends can't answer this question. And I studied there the engineer subjects, and my, I, I had no idea that Erasmus people are traveling a lot. And I get every week or every 2 weeks the offer to travel to another country. And I was not planning this, but because I got the offer, I joined these trips. And so in my 5 abroad semester, I saw maybe 15 countries because with the Erasmus groups, I travel around the country to the neighbor countries, and I had a lot of interesting experiences. And for also, it's interesting that I meet some emancipation groups in Bulgaria, and they are not connected with vegan food, and I was a bit surprised. So there are also international differences. So Bulgaria, the vegan scene is not so big like in Germany, for example. Yeah, and my life was very interesting there. I had a lot of different experience, and then I did my internship semester in Switzerland, and I had a lot of luck because I was in Zurich, and I won the job interview for ESS. It was facility management, and I get fast apartment in not fast. It was very big fight to get an apartment. I was from 100 applier the best for one apartment, and I got this apartment, and uh, I spent a lot of time. I stayed in Mannheim. It is in next to the border in Switzerland, in the German side, and I drive with the Flixbus to Switzerland to make some apartment interviews to get some apartment. And it was very unmotivated because they told me we have a lot of applier, and I did this big trips to apply for the apartments, and I did it maybe 5 times, and it was very exciting. And but in one apartment they accept me, and it was also funny because the girl who decided to take me, she was a vegan person. And I Googled this person and I found that she studied philosophist. And I asked, who is your favorite philosophist? And I make this question in gender, so philosophist and uh, girl and guy. So what is your favorite philosophist? And she say, because I make the gender question, I make a good impression, and I got the apartment, and I was from 100 applier the best because of this thing. And so I was never thinking that my volunteer or my idealist things will help me to get an apartment, but in this thing it works. I also was connect with the local parties, political parties, because I say, hey, I am in the sister political party, and you can maybe you can help me. But they didn't help. They try to help me, but they find no solution. But for this vegan girl who takes me, it was very great, and I get very big apartment in the center of the city, and I pay very less money. A lot of people didn't um, believe me that I had this luck. And also one manager from the company say that my apartment is so expensive like his lunch, and make jokes about this. And so I was very lucky. And also I got the experience that for my 5 semester internship, I did five from the 5 months. I have to be the position for 2 months for a senior management position, and it was very interesting experience for me. And in Switzerland, you have, if you go to a restaurant, you have so high quality, and it was also good to find vegan food. And but in my abroad semesters, I was not 100% vegan. I had some vegan periods. For in Bulgaria, it was not easy for me, and I had also a lot of problems to eat some special foods. Like I have problems with gluten, with fructose. So for me, it was very difficult to live vegan. But later I come to Berlin, and Berlin is the easiest place to eat vegan. But after that, I graduate my bachelor, and then I start my master on the BTU Cottbus. And then I decided to do a 1 year Erasmus. So again, 2 semesters in Poland, Stettin. And it was also a very interesting time. I study everything in English language, and it's on the border to Germany. So if I come to Berlin, I need just 2 hours to drive. So it was not far away, and because it needs a lot of energy to organize the abroad semester. So I was thinking my last trip, I will not organize something big because it was so exciting. And then I decided to make something close. Yeah, and for the Erasmus in Bulgaria and in Poland, I was with my application too late. So everything was in chaos. But for Bulgaria, for example, my university say nobody goes to Bulgaria. So if you are late, it doesn't matter, we will take you. And I'm a bit surprised because Bulgaria is not so popular, but they copy the German engineer rules. The things are in German language. Everything is not so expensive. It's very attractive to go there, but nobody. And the people in Bulgaria told me they came to Bulgaria because it was the second or third choice. So they choose maybe Sweden or something like that. And they are just in Bulgaria because the marks are not good. And I was something like the only person who decided to go direct to Bulgaria. So that was maybe something special. And it was, yeah, you need a lot of organization, and it was very stressful time with the documents, the bureaucracy. It was a lot of hard work. But if I can choose again, I will do it again. It was a very great experience, and it's, I think, very important to do abroad semester under study. I can say it was maybe my best time of my life. I don't know, but it could be possible, and that is my experience.
Okay,
Yes.
thank you for sharing. I'm still laughing from your story about the flat, how you managed to rent a flat out of 100 of different people who wanted to do it. I don't know, it was such a lucky coincidence, or maybe even fate for you. I have no ideas, but if you told me that story, I wouldn't believe actually.
I know.
Yeah, also thank you for the open and wide answer for this question. I don't even think that Erasmus given some experience, so maybe in a peacetime I wish also to take a part of an Erasmus program. But for now, we have a time limit, so we need to ask you about maybe your specialty questions about environmental politics and especially what can we do about this. So first of all, could you please tell us about environmental friendly politics generally? So what is it, how can we provide it, and what as individual what we can do to provide friendly environmental politics?
I think it's what are the main points we can save the most CO2 with the traffic or with the buildings or with vegan food or vegan lifestyle. So, and energy politics is very complicated. So you need, if you like to change in one place something, you have to a lot of different parameters. Normally, you need some engineer with high experience who read all the actual news, what is possible, what not. So you need a lot of information. We need very good information system, and the energy system is every year more complicated because to make everything efficiency, and if you make everything more efficiency, you need more complicated um, system. And but in the main point is that we can save the most CO2 with traffic, with buildings and vegan food. For traffic, it's in my opinion the best solution to make the public transport more attractive. Bus, trams, trains, maybe in my opinion for free. It will be the best that people from the car will be not motivated or more motivated if the public transport is for free. And for buildings, we have a lot of old buildings. We can make the walls new, more efficiency. So, but I think the vegan food is the easiest way to protect the environment. What I say in the beginning that animals emancipation, humans emancipation, and environmental friendly is connected. For example, if I make the public transport for free, you can people with less money have the option to take the transport, and also they save the environment if people use the public transport more. So the things are connected. Or if I make more vegan food or make it consequence with vegan food, you have a lot of environmental friendly aspects and also for the animals emancipation. But your question is, if I say it in the all main topics, that these three parameters are the most efficiency, but we need every option what we can do better, we have to do it because the decision, the power is in different parliaments and different areas. So the responsibility is for a lot of parliaments and also companies. And I hope that we get more young people who change lifestyle, or all people change lifestyle for vegan food. But it's not possible that politics make everything. We need it all together, the people, the parliament, the politics. So everybody have responsibility, and it's maybe very important to communicate more about these topics. But the good thing is that young people are more interested in these topics, and I have a big hope with the young people, with the next generation who come, and that will be, in short sentence, my opinion.
Okay, thank you for sharing. Sounds interesting. And could you please, in the way how we can continue this topic, tell us a little bit about the role of a mutual respect between countries in the context of environmental friendly politics? How to collect the power of all countries? How to build this bridge between them?
Yeah, that's a good question. For example, we have next year the European voting for the European Parliament. So that is also with the connecting question. It's very well, and yeah, and the problem is that rich countries, they have a lot of pollution about CO2, and for example, we have the climate deal, and Trump go out from this Paris deal, and but it was good that Biden comes back with the deal and continue the deal. And this deal is, in my opinion, more symbolic, but it makes maybe a bit motivation to go to the right politics. And for sure, we need more than this deal, and it's not enough. And there's a lot of work to do. And also, we in in Poland, you have, for example, some factories about. I have to translate this word. One moment. Yeah, hard coal factories you have in Poland, but on the German border, then you make environmental friendly energy factories. So it's not clever that in 100 meter or some kilometers away, because of the border, you have the hard coal, and in other side you have some solar energy or wind energy. So it's very, because I told in the beginning that we have complicated system in the energy production, and it's very important that other countries work together and share the concepts over the border. I think the border makes the efficiency in the systems for a more environment friendly energy. The border makes some barrier, and so we have to find solution over the borders, and that is the only way to make this complicated energy producing system more environmental friendly efficiency. I think that are some main topics.
Okay, so if we continue this discussion about finding the solution along the border, so what do you think about the emissions trading program? So maybe it's a solution through the border because it provides most of countries that in the United Nations organization, except the Chinese and USA. I don't remember USA exactly, but I don't remember China is in this quota or not.
China have the one of the worst CO2 producing, and it's also that, for example, India, they make more meat, more animal consumption, but in the beginning, India had a lot of vegan food. So the problem is that a lot of countries make higher meat production, and so I think the vegan solution will be at the moment very important to make more vegan alternative. But in other big countries like India, we may have higher meat production, and we it's again what I say in the beginning, that everything is connected, because if we have more vegan production, you can fight also again the hunger in the world. So everything is connected, and so I think the highest efficiency to find solution in the international way, I think, is the vegan consumption, and I think the politic have to concentrate this topic. And but of course, we need the agreement. China have to join also. I think China is not in this deal. I cannot believe that, because they have one of the worst CO2. But America is also very worst. But it's good that Biden comes back to this deal. But my last opinion is that the vegan consumption in the international way will have the biggest influence to saving the environment.
Okay, at least that's a decision that everyone can start with, yeah? So if we're talking about some global decisions like you described, in case you need to take some policies, maybe not everyone can do that. It's mainly a question to the government of the country who are connected with this type of politics. But if we're talking about a vegan way of life, yeah, you can start from yourself, right? Everyone can do that. It sounds like it's a small thing that you can do, but still, it's your huge contribution in the development and the process of safety of our society, right?
Yes, if it's a small step, if you do it by your own, the consumption, but other people will also see it. If more and more people will have this vegan consumption, and it's also hard if you live in a place and you are the only vegan person. So and other people have eat meat, so you have a lot of isolation problems. And if a person choose the vegan consumption way, you make the community bigger and it's more welcome and it's easier that other people can join. But it's also, I see the responsible in the politics to make the vegan way attractive. It's not enough to say the propaganda or that the consumption, everything is responsible to the consumption. In my opinion, everybody is and responsible for everything. Also, the politics have to make the vegan way more attractive because it's the only solution also. And so the responsible is in every area.
Okay, so about talking about maybe another way of reducing the pollution and reducing the climate change. So what about renewable resources of energy? So maybe it is a decision to solve the problem. I also agree that maybe word about being a vegan is also a solution. But what about renewable sources? But yeah, it also I think asks a very well question because on my mind renewable sources is a great decision, but it only available for wealthy countries like Germany because, for example, more poor countries cannot do it because it need more investments and another type of energy. So, what do you think about this?
In Germany, you have the general situation, for example, that in South Germany, you have a better sun for solar power, and in North Germany, you have more wind. And so, what I say in the beginning, we have very complicated system. If we have too much wind, for example, on the sea, and we can, and sometimes the wind is hard, and we have too much electricity, and we don't know what to do with this electricity. At the moment in Germany, they um, build some electricity system from North Germany to South Germany to transport the electricity what we have too much in North Germany. Of course, it's very important to make the renewable energy higher in future, but in my opinion, it's too slowly. Also, I apply in the free market as an environmental engineer, and in the job interviews, they told me that their politics, they say we need more changes, more engineer who do that, but they told me also in this job interview that the politics don't make enough changes, and so it's too slowly. And in my opinion, we need more people who study this field, and we need more money to build these things. It's too slowly at the moment, but it's very important. And the system is complicated. In every place in Germany, you need different parameters, and I think we have to handle out these different parameters and find individual the best solution. But it's for sure very important to build them faster. And also, what you say with the poor countries, Of course, poor countries need more investment, but poor countries or countries with less financial option, they don't produce so much pollution. And so I think their responsibility is like in USA and China, they have a higher and also the production or the business system, economical system in poor countries is very, in general, tendency more environmental friendly, but for sure they need help also from more powerful countries. And I think we need clever system, win-win situation that we say we make some investment and in the end we can make win-win situation with different countries and connect with environmental friendly um, economy and energy production. So that will be in short version, my opinion.
Okay,
Thank you so much for
we
such
have a
an
time limit also.
inspiring talk. I think that our viewers and we as well have a lot of things to think about, especially if we're talking about our small but still meaningful small steps instead of in. We have our usual question. We ask this question all people who will come to our interview. Could you please tell your three associations that come to your mind when you hear the word Ukraine? It may be just adjectives, nouns, anything.
So what I'm thinking if I hear the word Ukraine,
Yeah, only three words.
I think if I'm honest, they are honest. They are have national culture, so nationality, national things are important. So nationality or national opinion, culture, national culture. It's one word. Very, they are very motivated, and European, because
Okay.
for me it's European, and I will be glad to see Ukraine in some years in the European Union. So European will be the last word from my side.
Wow, amazing. It was the best ending of our interview, actually. Thank you so much, and we want to believe that we will have an opportunity to see you one more time at least.
Okay, I'm looking forward to do this.
Yeah, thank you
Okay,
for the
thank you.
interview.
Thank you also
So,
for your time and
yeah,
for the talk.
Yeah,
okay.
thank you so much.
So, bye bye. We are lost.
Bye bye.
Bye.